Welcome back to the Coach Emery Show. I'm your host, Coach Emery, aka Emery McMillan, and today I have with me Rhondaja Denine. And Rhondaja Denine is one of the most incredible people I've met recently. When I came across her information, I was just blown away at all the stuff that she had done. Right? She's a mom. She's a CEO of a company. She's a journalist, still doing a lot of things. So I want her to introduce herself like always, and then I'll jump in with a bunch of questions because I got a lot today.
I'm Rhondaja Denine. I'm 25 years old, and like you said, I'm the owner of MedDiva Scrubs, and I'm also a journalism student at Canisius College.
That is so dope. Congratulations to you, first off, for just knowing what it is that you are doing with your life. Like at 25, I was not I was not CEO of anything. Right? I may have been CEO of the Taco Bell like fan club or something. Like I was not doing anything constructive at that age for real. So kudos to you for really diving right in. So I want to talk about the CEO part first, just to get that out the way, because that's like major. What made you want to, well, first tell people what MedDiva Scrubs is, and then I want to ask you why you got started in it.
MedDiva Scrubs is basically a scrub line for essential workers, nurses, doctors, nail techs, lash techs, anybody that's essential and needs to wear scrubs. My business is for males as well.
Oh, nice. Now, what made you get into this lane? Like what about the scrub industry made you realize that it was something missing and you could bring it?
Basically, around the time COVID hit, once I realized how serious it was, the prices for scrubs were just like outrageous. Like scrubs were going for at least $100 or more. So with me, it's like I wanted to start a business, but I wanted people to be able to afford the business, actually be able to give something back to the community. So I thought like home to $30 scrubs, and that literally just came to me. So I put it together like MedDiva Scrubs, home of $30 scrubs.
So now other companies are charging $100. Is your quality any less than theirs because they're charging more?
No, I feel like my quality is even better. You can get different styles, you can get different colors, and I chose bright colors more so because being in the medical field myself, I know what patients are looking for, like bright colors, lift their spirits, things like that. So that's things that I took into consideration. Plus the material is excellent. It's very stretchy for all body types, and that's what I was leaning towards, more the curvy girls, but I have it for petite girls, tall, skinny, so I tend to,
what was that?
I said I tend to all body types.
That is dope, man. And I want to know, like, really tell me about like the conversation that you had with yourself the day before you said, okay, let's do this. Like, what was that conversation that day before you was like, let's do it? I want to know.
I actually was sitting in the car with a friend, and we were talking about businesses and things like that. And they were like, if you ever had a business, what would you do? I said, well, I always wanted to scrub line, but I just didn't know where to start. I didn't think that I actually could do it. So.
Okay. And so that next day you kind of jumped in?
Yep, I started looking up how to create my own websites. I started looking at different types of scrubs, things like that. And the first go round, I wasn't successful with it. It's like I invested in myself and it was a complete disaster. But then it was like, well, I don't want to give up. This is something that I want to do. So I looked at different material. And once I took it there, that's when everything took off for me.
Wow. So let's talk about that first attempt, right? Because a lot of people with their businesses or different businesses, they don't succeed the first time. What gave you the courage to continue to go after the first time wasn't a success?
Your dreams. If it's something that you really want to, when I want to do something, I don't stop until I get it done, especially if it's something that I want to do. I can't rest until I get it done. So I'm like, well, I have to try again. I definitely have to try again. I'm going to look up new vendors. I'm going to just look up new everything. And I created my own website. Finally, I had got it through. And once I found new vendors, I'm like, oh yeah, I can do this. So I started finding models to model for me. And I ended up getting interviewed by Channel 4, Kelly Cole and Kaylee Lynch, and they like literally changed my life forever. And
Wow.
I've just been taking off of MedDiva Scrubs ever since.
Wow. So when you got to your first order, right? When you made your first order and you were like, all right, I like this product. This feels good. I will wear this to work.
Yeah.
What was that feeling of your first sale? Like, what was that like?
It was amazing. It made me feel like I can do anything. Because when I started, I don't really like to take pictures. If you look at my Facebook, I don't really take pictures like that. So I'm like, well, I gotta promote myself some way, somehow. So I started taking pictures of how the scrubs looked on me. And that's when I started getting orders from people at the job I was working with at the time. And then it was just on from there. Then I started getting the men's scrubs and I really did it. So yeah.
Wow, that's amazing, man. And I love that you had to come out of your comfort zone to do something that changed your life, right? Like, imagine if you didn't take those pictures, they'd be like, "Oh, she sells scrubs. All right, cool, whatever." But no, you sell scrubs. You wearing your scrubs. That's a little bit different, right? Because it shows them who can be, in it or a part of it, and so that's really dope. I love that.
Thank you.
I love that a lot. So with you having so much going on, right? So you're a certified medical assistant. You got MedDiva Scrubs. You are a student at Canisius, and you just announced recently that you have an internship with Channel 2.
Yes.
Tell me how you juggle all of these things.
Well, I started Brian and Stratton 3 years ago. I just knew that I couldn't be in the same position that I was in just for my daughter alone. So that's why I chose Brian and Stratton. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna choose a program that really suits me. And medical assistant was that. So I pursued my associate's degree in medical assistant. It took about 3 years. I literally just walked the stage June 18th of this year. And I
Wow.
started ECS in January. I was finished with the program in December, but I couldn't actually walk the stage. So it was hard, trying to balance graduating and starting a new college. So, but it was amazing because a lot of my credits transferred over so that I only had to do 2 years at Canisius for my
Oh,
bachelor.
wow.
Mhm.
That's really cool. So you juggling, like, so it's kind of like everything is really falling in line at the same time that
Yeah,
you're trying to like juggle it. It's like it's really balancing itself out.
definitely. I starting Canisius, I had to quit a really good job. I was working at an eye doctor place, one of the best jobs I ever had.
Mm,
And I found out that Canisius only took morning classes. So I'm like, okay, I live alone. So it's like I have to work. I have my daughter. So it's like,
right.
do I quit a job? So I ended up quitting my job, just working little mediocre jobs while I was in school. And now I have a really good job now. So I'm able to work overnights and go to Canisius. So I'm glad I made that move.
You know what? I'm gonna talk about something regarding that move and other moves, specifically to you, but related to anybody who's on the fence about a major move.
Yes.
Yo, when you make that one move, sometimes it's the scariest move to make. It's the most difficult move for you to even wrap your head around, right? Like, this is the best job I ever had.
Yes.
Maybe I could just not go to school right now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I could. No, you said, listen, I want to go get this degree. I want to finish this program. And to do so, I have to let go of this thing that I've got really comfortable with that
Yes.
provides me with a lot of benefits, but it's not for me right now. And when you make those kind of decisions, it's not always easy as soon as you make it, but it sets you up for success in ways you never even imagined. And I think that that's kind of where you are now, like the internship happening for you, working through COVID, having your business, being a mom, like all of these things working at the same time, but you found a way to really find the alignment where they work in conjunction with each other and not against each other. So I like that. Look at that. And it sounds like a lot of that was based on that one sacrifice and that one decision to go ahead and do your business.
Yes.
That's
Absolutely.
super, super dope.
And then it's like, I'm 25. This job could fire me at any moment. I don't want to be here a year from now. Like I should have just went to school, you know? So it's like, yeah, just take the leap. Take the leap of faith, definitely.
That's incredible. Now you said take the leap of faith. And I want to know, like, are there people in your corner who like give you really sound advice, or does it mostly come from within?
I would say I really get most of my, I don't really get advice, but I get most of my motivation from my daughter and my nana. She passed away when I was pregnant, so she never got to meet my daughter. And that was, we were really close. Like she motivated me, believed in me, like she knew I could be anything that I wanted to be. So basically I just take that and I'm like, anything that I do, I know that she's proud of me. So, you know, it just make me go harder. It's to know that I have somebody to look after and to protect. So that's
Yeah.
really just motivation.
Wow. That's deep, and definitely, my condolences for, losing your nana. And we go through those phases and we lose people who meant a lot to us. And it's so interesting that it often happens at a time where we're gaining somebody else.
Yes,
Right, like you got your daughter in between that same space and time, and not that you'd have to pick between one or the other, but it's like this was given to you knowing that this was coming.
definitely.
So that's magical, and I love that for you. I have a couple more questions about your business, and I want to jump into your journalism and what your journey is for that. So with your with MedDiva Scrubs, when you came out with the $30 scrubs, were people skeptical at first? Like, were they not really, welcoming to the idea? Were they used to paying so much they thought it was like a catch? Like, how
Yeah,
was that welcomed in that industry?
I've had a lot of people in my ear like, oh, you're selling yourself short, you know, $30 for this type of material. And basically with the business, sometimes it's not always about the money, it's about the success with it. And I knew that the $30 scrubs would give me a lot of success. So with that, yes, I knew that it would be a catch. Nobody wants to keep paying $50, $60 for a set of scrubs when you can get two for the price of, so I'm like, all right, I want to be different. That's what makes me stand out. So I've heard a lot of people say you got to go up on your prices. I'm like, no, I'm home with the $30 scrubs for a reason. So
Right.
yeah, and yeah. So,
That's cool that you like stand on that, right? Like, because so many people, especially when somebody say you can make more money,
yes,
right? You're like, wait, I can make more money. Like, but you're like, no, I'm the home of the $30 scrubs, and that's what I stand on.
yes.
Have there been times that you wish that you wanted to change your prices?
Um, Not really, because I see a lot of not I see a lot of other scrub lines, coming out now, and their prices are not my prices. So I think what I'm doing, keep it what I'm doing, and you know, I'm just gonna stay in my lane and just keep it home with the $30 scrubs. I
Yeah,
yes. Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. And so, long-term vision for MedDiva Scrubs, where do you see this going? Like, do you see this being something that runs itself? Do you always want to be hands-on with the business? Is this something you want to have in multiple cities? Like, tell me what your vision is for MedDiva Scrubs.
Basically, I just want to continue to grow first here in my hometown, definitely, because this is where I receive most of my support. And I started vending at the hospital at Buffalo General. Um, I started vending there. So I definitely want to take off. I want to branch out to more hospitals. Once I'm done with my career, I want to definitely still take my Diva Scrubs with me, but I don't want it to be my main source. I kind of want to just keep it like, my second child, because journalism is always going to be first for me. So
Right.
I definitely continue to keep my Diva Scrubs a part of me, definitely.
I like that. Well, definitely much success to you with MedDiva Scrubs. If y'all haven't checked them out, go check out MedDiva Scrubs. Is there a page that they can check out for MedDiva Scrubs? Excuse me.
Yes. I have Facebook, my social media platforms, Rhondaja Denine. Also I'll be relaunching my new website soon. So I'm relaunching everything. So yes, that's a big thing for me too. I'll be relaunching at around the end of the year. So new merchandise, new website, new everything.
That's dope. That's dope. So as we close this box, as we're talking about you as a CEO, I just want to congratulate you on the success you've had. And I also want to just congratulate you in advance on the success that's coming, because what you're doing is amazing. And it's not often that you hear somebody stand on their price when other people are telling them they can make more money, especially right now where everything is increasing and everybody is just gouging and grabbing what they can. It's like you're like, no, I want to stay true to what I said I was doing. And I love that. So kudos to you. Congratulations. Again, like I said, for now and for the future, because you're doing big things.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. So let's dig into this journalism thing, man.
Yes.
Tell me what it is about journalism that grabs your attention. Like when did you know that was your thing?
Basically, I've always been a writer. I've always been into poetry since I was a little girl. Reading, I like reading novels like Deja King novels, Terry Woods novels. I was always into that type of thing. So basically being a writer, I'm like, how can I do this professionally? So I looked into things, and it's like journalism. You have to have a bachelor's degree in journalism. So I'm like, okay, I want to do what I have to take because I know that I want to be a reporter. So basically, where being a reporter comes from is in the Black community. When we're talked about on the news, it's always negative. Even if we're on the news for something positive, it seems like they dig up the negative in our history, in our background. So I'm like, okay, I want to be a voice for my people. I know that it's not a lot of girls my age in the journalism field. So I'm like, I want to do something. I want to be something different. I want to be a voice in my community. Basically, that's where that came from. And I like to write. So I love to learn another person and learn about them and what makes them them. So that played
Really?
yeah.
That's super, super dope. So you said that you jumped into this thing, like you did poetry and you did all the writing stuff. Was it always you wanting to be in the forefront, or did it start out as you kind of, because like earlier you said you don't really do a lot of pictures. So did you start out like as a poet, just wanting to write your poems, or did you always want to be seen?
Not even, yes, it was just always about writing because I feel like the steps that I'm taking now are definitely getting me out of my comfort zone so that I can be ready for the media. I have been given a lot of opportunities where I have to be on camera and things like that. And I feel like that was just like God just aligning me, getting me ready for where he's about to take me next for my journey in journalism. So
That's amazing. If you could cover any story, past, present, or future, what story would you say you would have loved to cover, or you look forward to covering in the future?
oh my God. Number one, definitely, and it still bothers me to this day, George Floyd. I wish I could have been there, hands-on as a reporter. Just one thing about that, I thank God that video is here, social media is here, because if we did not see that video, we would have just thought it was a crazy man that went crazy on the police, because that's the story that they put out. But
Right.
with social media and the real story being out there and Black people coming together, we got justice for him. So
Right.
definitely would have been there to cover that.
Have you ever been on the scene of a news report and like actually get to watch a news reporter do their thing? Like, how do you feel when you see that happen?
Not yet. Personally, I've been interviewed by news reporters, so I've seen how they do their thing, and that's where I really got my motivation from too as well. But I've never been on an actual live scene, not yet.
Okay.
Not
Now with the internship that you have with Channel 2, so I want you to talk about that a little bit. I don't want to, give that information out before you do.
Mhm.
So tell me about the internship and how that came about and what it looks like, what it entails for you.
Basically, with that, oh my God, that was the biggest weight in my life. I had the interview Monday, and I didn't get a call back till Monday. I'm like just waiting, just waiting, just waiting, just waiting. And once I got the call, it's like, oh my God, I could breathe. That was something that I really wanted to do, what really wanted to get. So when I got the internship, it was like, I know a lot of people wanted it, so I'm not going to disappoint. I'm about to work hard and just show them what I have. So basically, I'll just be, following real reporters around and just getting an intel of what the journalism life is.
So you get to be in the field.
Yes.
Oh, you like really, really, really doing this thing.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
definitely.
Wow. How are you containing all of that excitement? I know you're like right now inside, like just jumping up and down like a little kid. Like, did you scream when you got that call?
I cried. I was literally in the shower. I heard my phone, it was vibrating. I'm like, I don't know this number. I answered it. She was like, hi, this is so and so. And she's like, I just want to let you know you got the internship. And I was just like, she was like, if you want to take some time to think about it, I said no, I want it. So I cried. I definitely cried. And I was just so happy. Like I was happy. I'm still happy.
Wow. Who was the first person you called when you found out?
My best friend Tamara, definitely. I called her because she's always the one telling me you need to jump out your comfort zone. Like she always like lifted me up, things like that. Like that's the one that I call, so to
Yeah,
get, yeah, yeah.
that's dope. That's super, super dope. Now, you said you are a mom. Does your daughter understand what you do or like what it is that you're working on? Like, is she old enough to understand those things?
She's 6 now. When I first started school, she was 3. So she didn't kind of know like why mommy working overnight so much, things like that. But now it's like she went to my graduation, she got to see me graduate. So now I explained to her now I'm back in school. And she was like, to be a news lady, that's that's a news lady. I'm like, yes, to be a news lady. And so yeah, she's kind of more understanding now. And it's hard with her too because I feel like I put school first sometimes, but it's not really me putting school first. It's just like I'm almost done. I can't stop now, Ariel. I don't want us to be in the same place we in.
Right.
So
Is
that's
she
just
understanding?
yeah, she's understanding. She's trying to be understanding, yeah.
She's working on it, right?
And she's out for me, so she is just all about attention. So yeah, she just
That's amazing.
yeah.
I like that. I like that you get to see her experiences with you, right? And like
And
she knows what you're working at. Like, oh, you're going back to school to be a news lady. Like she knows the vision. Like she knows where you're going. And I think that that's important. Today before we got on here, my daughter was like, "Are you famous, Dad?" I'm like, I don't know how to answer that just yet, honey. Why you say that? She's like, because you do a lot of shows. I'm like, oh, okay. I see what you mean. I'm like, I'm famous to some people, I'm sure, but um, I'm not the famous that you're thinking about, but we'll get there. That next week or next year, that conversation will be different. But it's so interesting for them to really understand what we do, and they're paying attention. They're watching us do the things we do every day. And I tell people all the time, as parents, as just leaders in the community, or just being around a kid, doing something good or bad, that creates a mindset for them, regardless of what you think it does. Listening to certain music, being in certain spaces, watching certain shows, or just having certain types of conversation, it does impact your kid, and they're internalizing a lot of it. Even if they don't say anything, one day it's going to come out. So like when you realize she knew you wanted to be a news lady,
yeah,
like that feeling of knowing that she gets it, she
yeah,
gets what I'm trying to do. And I think that in kids, what that does, it helps them learn to create their own dream, right?
exactly.
So does she express to you what she wants to be?
Right now she wants to be anything right now, but I do I want to have that conversation with her maybe when she turns 7 to be more serious. Like where do you know where do you see yourself, like what do you want to do, like what do you like, what do you enjoy, things like that. Because right now she wants to be a cop, she wants to be a doctor, she wants to be everything right now. But yes, that's one thing about it. I want her to follow her dreams, and
Yeah,
I want her to be 1,000 times better than me. And I just want her to have everything that I didn't, like I want to put money up for college, because right now I'm paying out of pocket, so it's like, I don't want her to have to go through that. I want her to be able to just live her dreams, just live her dreams. You don't have to worry about no financial. I want to do that for you. So
yeah.
yeah.
That's super, super dope, man. And I love that you, at such a young age, and I mean, 25, some people may think that that's older. Some people may think it's younger, depending on the age that they're at. But overall, right now, I feel like you're really, really, really doing a great job for the age that you are, with the vision that you have and the path that you decided to walk so firmly with what you're building. That's incredible.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When we spoke the other day, you were sharing with me how the pandemic really kind of created this platform for you to build MedDiva Scrubs. What I want to ask you about, though, regarding the pandemic is, how did it affect your journalism? Like, did it affect the things that you started to practice writing about, or start practice, different things like that? Like, how did it affect your journalism?
It didn't really affect my journalism. It actually gave me more to write about. It gave me more things to think about. It just created a better writing platform. It was so much to write about, so much to cover, so much to think about during COVID. So yeah,
That's
it
how.
actually helped.
Okay. That's really cool. That's really, really cool. And I like that. I think that your your vision is so like laser focused, and it's really in there. I want you to tell me some interesting things. I got like two more questions before we get into the rapid fire part of this thing.
Okay.
So the next question is, do you want to work for like a local news station long term, or do you want to do like CNN or one of the major global platforms where you travel the world for journalism?
Definitely. So I'm hoping, praying to God that I do well on my internship so that I can land the job with Channel 2. I definitely want to create me a platform here. But 3 years ago, it's crazy because I actually wrote a letter. Brian Stratton, my teacher, gave us a letter. He wanted to know our careers. He said, pick two careers that you can be, medical assistant, journalism. And that's what I chose in my letter. And it actually said that I want to start off locally and eventually work for Fox News. So Fox News has always been my go-to. It's 3 locations I'm looking at right now. I could just name two. It's New York and definitely Atlanta. Just because I say Atlanta, everybody says Atlanta, but Atlanta is Black Hollywood. And for my journalism career, I know that it will take me far. Now,
Right.
New York is kind of busy, so I have to think about my baby as well. But Fox News is definitely the platform that I want to be on.
Okay, so I have a question for you about that, because Fox News, a lot of people find it to be controversial. They find it to be, one-sided or this sided or whatever. What's your take on that, and why? And does that play a role in why you want to be a part of Fox News?
Because you don't really see too many Black faces on Fox News. And if I could make history with that, that'd be dope to me. I would love that. Like, for another Black young girl, young journalist coming up, like, oh, I see her on Fox News. I want to be on Fox News. So, and like I just was watching these three ladies, they just made history. The first three Black anchors to ever host a news show. So I know that if they
Wow.
do that, I can definitely do it because they paving the way.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And so do you feel like, when you, in your mind, because I know as you watch the news, you probably are like, when you watch the news, do you see the news the way we see the news as people, or are you kind of like doing the journalism part yourself? Like, how would you do it? Are you comparing that to how you would do it all the time?
Both, both. I'm always taking notes of how an anchor, because a news reporter and a news anchor are two different things. Eventually, I do want to be a news anchor, but news reporting is when you go out and you go out, you're out in the field, you're getting the stories. So yeah, that definitely plays a part too.
Okay.
So
And would you want to be like in the storms, like in the middle of like the hurricanes in Florida, like, yo, it's not that bad out here, and all you see is stuff blowing in the background, like?
no, but I know that that's probably going to be in my job description. But no, I don't like the cold. Living
No.
above 25 years, I hate the cold.
Wow, I could definitely
So,
see that. So my next question for you, and I said I had two. This is the last one. I know I asked you a bunch in between there, but we're gonna pretend like I didn't. This next question is, if you had a piece of advice for young journalists coming up, right, fresh out of high school, they know they want to go to college for journalism, they know they want to be in this space, what piece of advice would you give to them right now?
don't let anybody tell you that journalism is not a good business for you. If you know that journalism is something that you want to do, then you go in and you do it wholeheartedly. It's not easy. It's a lot of writing. You have to be dedicated. And I can honestly say school doesn't bring that for you. So if it's not something that you want to do, school isn't going to help with that either. It has to be in you. It has to be something that you want to do. So just follow your dreams and don't let financial situations get in the way of your dreams either, because God is definitely going to work it out for you if it's meant for you.
Hey man, I like that. I like that. Look at you just journalizing all this stuff. That's so dope. I love that, man. So my next couple questions are going to be kind of rapid fire. They're going to be all over the place. So first question is this, right? It's going to feel like kind of a job interview, but whatever. Was there a time where you wanted to be something other than the things that you are right now? Right, you're working at being a journalist. You are a certified medical assistant. You have MedDiva Scrubs. Was there something that we missed out on you becoming?
Yes, when actually I was 19, 20, I started Villa Maria College for fashion design and business, things like that. So I wanted to design wedding dresses. I don't know what it was, but I wanted to be in business with that. But I started, showing. My teachers didn't know I was pregnant. So I started missing a lot of opportunities like the fashion show in New York City, things like that. So it discouraged me. Then that's why I ended up quitting college. But I'm kind of glad I did, because that wasn't what was for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, look at that. Look at the alignment, man. Sometimes stuff just happen and we just like, you know what? We got to change this situation, and it ends up being exactly what you needed, right?
Exactly.
Is there any future where you are a journalist, but you also have a wedding dress design company? Like, is that still part of something in the back of your mind?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I want to see where journalism takes me. Like, I want to give my all into it. So it's so many different outlets in journalism. It's multimedia, it's investigative journalism, it's sports journalism. It's so many routes you can take it in. Right now, my main concentration is multimedia journalism because I want to cover the world. But I just, I want to travel. My main focus to be journalism.
I like that. Okay. So that's super dope. And I thank you for sharing that with me. I hope that's something that people didn't know before they watched this, that you wanted to design wedding dresses and you started school for it, which is dope. So the next question I have for you, this one is a little bit more intricate. All right. So I'm pretty sure you've watched a piece of the show before, so you know what's coming. If you had to pick a cartoon character to be from any generation, who would it be and why?
A cartoon character from any generation. Penny Proud.
Really?
Yes.
Tell me why.
Penny Proud. Number one, because it's like, even though I don't have younger brothers and sisters, I'm the youngest. It's still like she was kind of the black sheep of her family. Like, she always had to stay back and miss opportunities to watch the kids and things like that. But she never let it stop her. Even though her character was goofy, she was always serious and independent, and she knew what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, Penny Proud.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. That's dope. I like that. I like that a lot. My last question is, and this is not specifically for journalists at all. I feel like what you gave earlier was great advice. To people who are facing adversity right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
People who are really kind of in the middle of some kind of major transition or change, and they kind of don't know what to do. What piece of advice would you give to those people right now?
Pray, because I feel as though without God and anything that you do without him, it will not work. So anything that I do, like I find myself now like just asking God like any little thing, just to give me direction on it. And basically, guys, just pray about it and literally ask God like, what do I do next? What do you want from me? Like, what's my purpose? Because he's definitely going to show you in due time. So you got to just pray. Definitely.
I like that. I like that a lot. So, Rhondaja, we are here Man, we've talked about a lot of stuff on this show. Is there anything that you haven't talked about? Anything that we don't know about you that we should know? What's the thing you like to do when the camera's off, when the books are down, when there's no corporate, no school stuff? What's the thing you like to do?
What do I like to do?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm, I don't really know because outside of being a mom and school and stuff, I don't really do much. And I say I don't really come outside. I don't really. I've never been to a club before. Never been to the casino before. I'm being completely honest with you. Like I had my baby young, so it kind of stopped me from doing a lot of things. So my whole 20 has been dedicated to her. So I don't really know what I'm missing.
Okay. Do you have do you like watch Netflix?
Yeah, I okay. My favorite show, I love Law and Order SVU. I can watch that all day, 24. That and Grey's Anatomy, definitely Grey's Anatomy.
I could see both of those shows on YouTube. I could see that. Because they both have these storylines, but they're all very professional. They
Yeah.
show up in a very similar way to the way you show up every single day. And it's always a different obstacle, but they tactically handle it the same way. It's pretty dope. I like that. I like that a lot. So what I want to do now is give you a chance to do two things. First, ask me a question. All right.
Okay.
Be gentle. All right. I just did an interview where they asked me a lot of questions and it was tough. So go gentle on me. You know what I'm saying? Do that. And then after my question, I'm going to give you a chance to tell people where they can find you, where they can support your business, just any questions they have for you, you know, how they can reach out and all of that good stuff. So the first one is you ask me a question.
My question is basically where do you see yourself in 5 years with your business? Like, did you go to school and also did you go to school for it? Like where do you see yourself next?
Okay. So I like your multiple part question, journalist. So I did not go to school for this at all. I went to school for criminal justice. I really had no idea what I wanted to do, but I went to school for criminal justice, and me being a coach and business consultant, those things kind of already were in me. I really didn't pick them, right? Sometimes something picks you, something gets a hold of you, and you find out later on in life, like, wait, what I've been, this is the thing that is called that I've been doing all this time, right? So that's what I realized. Like I've been doing this work for so long, helping people, working with their businesses. That's been me for, I mean, over a decade. You know, if being transparent, I've been doing this for over, at least probably like maybe 15, 20 years without it being a title. And without getting paid for it. So there's so much work that I've done in this space with helping people or working with their businesses, things like that. So that's kind of why I'm in this space. I'm in this space because I realized that this is what I've always done, right? And this is what I do well. So I really want to continue to help people and see the best side of people come out. That's my ultimate goal. The goal with my business, as far as the platform that we're on right now, as far as the show, I really want this to be the place to be for people like yourself to come and kind of share what they do, you know, continue that loving embrace of what is next, right? We have a lot of platforms where it's negativity or it's drama or it's bringing out the stuff that's like not so cool to talk about. And a lot of platforms are doing that for the likes and the shares and the, you know, all of that good stuff. But for me, I feel like we need to get back to having those places where people can just go and talk the good talk, right? Do the good stuff and express the good things. And, you know, much like you wanting to be a journalist and breaking those stories and bringing a positive spin to things, that's kind of why I do what I do here. You know, I want to be able to let people come in and just share like, hey, I have a scrub company where I help people find scrubs they actually want to wear for $30. And, you know, I do it from the heart. I mean,
Yeah.
I want that. So the vision for this show is to be the place to go if you have something going on, if there's something going on in the world, if you are launching a business, a program, organization, that's what I want this to be the place you think first. You know, inclusive of all the major shows, I want you to think this place first. So that's the vision for this right here.
Good.
Yeah. So I hope that answered your question because you have multiple parts. So did I miss a part?
Yes, you got it.
All right, cool, perfect. So so now take it away. Just tell people where they can find you, how they can support you, and if whatever you want to share with people right now, this is your space.
Okay. Basically, you can find me on social media platforms. I have Instagram, I have Facebook, Rhondaja Denine. I'm getting new to Twitter. It's the same name, but yeah, I'm getting used to that. And yeah, that's where you can find me. Also, just thank you for having me on your show to even just showcase my stuff and talk about things like this. I really appreciate it. So yes.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. And I'm glad that you are a part of the show. I feel like anybody who comes on here, it kind of becomes like family, right? This is that thing where I don't talk messy on my show. I keep it, to a certain standard on my show. And I do it intentionally because when people leave here, as this conversation goes throughout the world, I want them to be able to grab any piece of it and learn something. Grab
Yeah.
any piece of it and be inspired. Grab any piece of it and feel better than they felt before they played that piece. So I want to keep this energy, and I'm glad that people like you exist in the world because I love talking to people like you, and I love learning more about the avenues that I didn't take in my life. Like I love, I've poet to man, I've written poetry my whole life. So hearing you turn that into a thing that's quantifiable, your daughter knows you as the news lady. Like that's dope to me. Right. So to be able to hear these stories firsthand,
Yes.
that's a currency to me. So I'm blessed. I'm blessed to do it. And I'm thankful to be able to do it. So thank you for coming through and kicking it. I kind of want to have you close the show since you're the journalist. You know what I'm saying? I want to have you like end it off how you would end off one of your segments on the news. So are you prepared for something like that?
Oh my God. Yes.
All right,
I
you
think
take it away. She's gonna close the show, y'all. Go ahead.
all right. So thank you. You have Coach Emery and Rhondaja Denine. Have a good night. The coach that's it.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you. There you have it. I have a news journalist ending on my show today. I've accomplished a goal now. So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you again, Rhondaja, for coming through. You are dope. Continue to be dope. Continue to impress the world, change the world, do all the things that you're doing because we need you. So kudos to you. And as everybody watching, be dope and be great. Peace.
Have a good day.